Man, I got stuff to do today. Um, really though. So, um, yeah, look at this. I didn't lie to you guys. The Bulls gear's in full force. I can't tell you the last time I wore this thing. This thing is cool. But anyway, yeah, you guys, Albert Pujols contract. Did you realize that Albert Pujols is entering his 10th season with the Los Angeles Angels of Los Angeles, or whatever they're called now? 10 seasons. Whoa. He played 11 seasons with the St. Louis Cardinals. So, wow, we're really here. We're really at a point now where Albert Pujols has essentially played as long in LA as he did in St. Louis. And it's really the tale of two careers, isn't it? I mean, Albert Pujols in St. Louis, without a doubt, is one of the top 10. Could you argue top 5 hitters of all time if you just take his years in St. Louis? And then once you add on his stat compiling with the Angels, oh, he's closing in on home run records. We get all that. Who really cares? But when you look at his time in St. Louis, what a player. And it's funny because as a kid growing up, I always thought that Mark McGwire was like this career-long Cardinal. Mark McGwire only played for the Cardinals for like a couple seasons. So I thought it was Mark McGwire. Oh, lucky them. Now they get Albert Pujols. But really, Albert Pujols should have been like their career Mark McGwire. Honestly, guys, did Albert Pujols do steroids? Like, did he do steroids? I mean, you'd think in LA, if there's ever a place to get away with shady stuff and keep doing what you're doing, the Angels organization's the place to get it done. They don't care about winning as much as they care about go-go juice and prescription drugs and all of that other nonsense. But my gosh, you guys, 10 years for the Angels? I mean, we can talk about the money, I guess. This is called Albert Pujols' contract. Oh my God. Would you look at that? Age 41 season. They did it. They did it, you guys. On a backloaded contract. This is the best part. They backloaded this thing. So when he was 32 in 2012, they're only paying him $12 million. Heck, you're getting the best player in all of baseball, the best hitter in all of baseball for $12 million? Holy crap. It's like the Angels really won this contract, right? Oh, and then you realize, well, first off, whatever $3 million incentive he earned in 2018 while being injured, I don't know, but it probably speaks to just how terrible this contract is. Because he made $30 million in 2018 in his age 38 season. He made $28 million in 2019 in his age 39 season. $29 million in 2020 in his age 40 season. And this year, Albert Pujols is set to make $30 million and a base salary. Yeah, which will then bring the total amount of cash. The total amount of cash that the Angels will then have given him after this season concludes and he becomes an unrestricted free agent and undoubtedly retires, because I can't see another organization giving this guy a contract of any. I mean, if they do, it'll be a Ichiro thing where he just is literally there to like break the records. $224 million, almost $225 million. So what did $225 million get the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim? Well, through 9 seasons, God, look at that. He's still a career 299 hitter, folks. Albert Pujols is going to end up torpedoing his own career 300 batting average because he signed this ridiculous 10-year contract or whatever. Then it just makes me mad. I'm not even an Albert Pujols fan. The guy batted .328 for the St. Louis Cardinals. He has batted .257. So you paid him, what was that, $225 million to bat .257? The guy's on base percentage, The guy's on base percentage for the St. Louis Cardinals was 420. It is 312 for the Los Angeles Angels. His batting average, but his on base percentage is more than 100 points lower than it was. Somehow, some way. No, yeah, I was looking at the wrong thing. No, his slugging percentage is 150 points down as well. I mean, the guy was a 3-time MVP, Rookie of the Year, finished in years that he didn't win the MVP, he still finished inside the top 3 in voting 4 other times. He was runner-up for the MVP 3 times, won it 3 times. So this guy had arguably 7 MVP caliber seasons out of the 11 total with the St. Louis Cardinals. What happened? He was really arguably he was entering his prime. I mean, it's so weird. In baseball, guys hit their 30s, and it's like that's really when for a lot of guys, that's when they are hitting their prime. It takes them a while to get to the majors, and maybe they don't debut till they're 25. Pujols debuted and played in 161 games at age 21. So maybe he's a little bit different. But again, what are you thinking? Like, what are you looking at if you're the Los Angeles Angels? Like, what were you, like, honestly, what were you smoking? But he plays most games. How many games did he play? He'd only played over 1,700 games for the St. Louis Cardinals. He only played 1,700 games. I think he's good for another, 10 years. What were they thinking in the 9 years? And you just look at these numbers. He hasn't played in the same amount of games. He hasn't been as durable. Clearly hasn't been as productive. You know what he's done since he's you know the one stat Albert Pujols has led the major leagues twice since joining the Angels, grounding into double plays. Twice he's led the majors in grounding into double plays. So, wow. Safe to say this is one of the worst contracts, if not the worst contract in the history of team sport. It just doesn't get any worse. Albert Pujols actually has the all-time record for grounding into double plays. He will ground into his 400th double play this season. He's at 399. So, it's over with. Sure, we could have made this video a couple years ago and be like, wow, look how bad this contract's turning out. But this is the one contract I've been able, and I've teased it, and we knew it was there. I mean, it's low-hanging fruit. We knew it was there to touch on, but man, to look at it in totality, to really see how great of a player he was, how many statistical categories he'd lead in. I mean, this guy led the league in runs 5 times. And then he gets to Los Angeles. So he leads the league in runs in 2010 with 115. His first year in Los Angeles, he scores 85 runs. So what happened? How do you score 30 less runs? And they had Mike Trout. I really, the thing about Mike Trout and his contract, if you'd have had Albert Pujols to protect him this entire time, that contract would look, no one would question it. But I do feel like you have to question a Mike Trout contract. Like, what are you doing? What are you building around this guy? And now that they're finally able to get out from under this Albert Pujols contract, finally, maybe next year the Angels will start to look legitimate. I know they have Anthony Rendon. They got a few guys, we get all that. I'm glad that Cole Calhoun isn't the second best Angel anymore, but wow. I mean, you could honestly argue he doesn't even I don't even think Albert Pujols deserves to go in the Hall of Fame just over the fact that he stole this amount of money. Like, guys used Vaseline, guys did spitballs, guys were racist, guys used steroids. Not only did this guy probably use steroids, but then he robbed the Los Angeles, and it's no, and I think I think people misunderstand. Like, my friend Jacob told me that, hey, yeah, I drafted David Price in our fantasy draft last night. What, you hate him? I don't hate David Price. I hate these stupid ass. Now I'm upset. I'm cursing. These stupid teams that they make their fans suffer by just giving out these ridiculous contracts, and then they expect the fans to just take it and accept it for what it is. No, if you're an Angels fan, you should be just more than disgusted. You've been having to watch Albert Pujols spend his prime doing absolutely nothing for the Los Angeles Angels. And the fact that he's entering his 10th season and now he'll have played 11 years. When it's all said and done, he'll have played 11 years for the Cardinals and he'll have played 10 years for the Angels. That is honestly, how do you vote a guy into the Hall of Fame who's only good for half of his career? This really, like, Albert Pujols really might be one of the first guys to make us question the idea of a compiler. Obviously, Nolan Ryan has 7 no-hitters and threw a no-hitter when he was 65 years old or something. And so, Nolan Ryan is forgiven for stat compiling. And Craig Biggio, just tough as nails. Did you see the amount of pine tar on Craig Biggio's helmet? Of course he had 3,000 hits. You see that guy? You see that pine tar? So, just what a compiler this Albert Pujols turned out to be. Don't take anything away from him. He was one of the greats in St. Louis. But what a compiler this guy turned out to be in Los Angeles. And you want to talk about a guy who there couldn't be an athlete with less momentum for something so historic. Like, talk about like watching him chase home run totals and all that. There's never been less momentum. I guess with A-Rod, it's like people really didn't want A-Rod to break the record because of who he is, but no one even cares. Like, if Albert Pujols did, it wouldn't even be that people hated it. They just wouldn't care. They just literally wouldn't care. At least with A-Rod, it would get a reaction. It'd get people talking. Albert Pujols, thank God he never got close or actually ended up closing in on the all-time home run record. What is he even at now? He's at 662. Yeah, no, there's no way. Let's see where we think he'll finish up all time. Albert Pujols will end up finishing. Yeah, look at that. He's right behind. Oh, no, he won't even catch A-Rod. A-Rod finished with 696. Good luck. That's something too. A long time ago, my friend Tony had told me that A-Rod's going to break the home run record, and dang, did he get close. If not for suspensions and just. If he could have hung on a little more, not got suspended that full year, I think too, if he didn't play on the Yankees, and with Albert Pujols, like, the Cardinals were perfect for you. Like, you were synonymous with the Cardinals. You thought you were going to a bigger market and that would gain you more exposure. You fell off a cliff. No one cares about you. You might as well just be wasting away for the Angels. It's just an absolute joke. And for my money, do you want to know my home run list? Hank Aaron, 1, 755. Babe Ruth, 2, 714. Willie Mays, 3, 660. Ken Griffey, 4, 630, which means that in my personal record book, which keeps out people that use steroids for the majority of their career, because I think Barry Bonds was taking steroids as early as when he was, his later years on the Pirates. People say that he got upset about the home run chase, and that's when he started doing steroids. Just follow his head. Just follow the size of his head. If you really want to know when Barry Bonds started doing steroids, you just have to follow his hat size. And when his head started to become bigger, and my dad would tell me, his head is so big, his head is so big. I was like, what are you talking about? I was like 10 years old. I had no idea what he was talking about. And then, of course, I saw my first Barry Bonds rookie card, and I was like, whoa. Why is his head so small? But yeah, Jim Thome in my personal record book is the 5th all-time in home runs with 612. And if I'm not mistaken, he went into Cooperstown as an Indian. I'm so sorry, as a Cleveland baseball teamer. So So that's another question. What's going to happen to Jim Thome when he's in the Hall of Fame with a Cleveland baseball team hat? What happens there? I'll let you guys. I actually have a bunch of stuff to do today, but just want to make sure. Yeah, he was inducted in 2018. So first ballot, Jim Thome. Look at you. I think Jim Thome is one of the most underrated players of all time, and he may have been a victim of his era where he too was, but he was country strong. We get all that. So, if I had to look at the fact that, he played with Manny Ramirez. Manny Ramirez is an obvious steroid user. I just have to hold out hope. I have to hold out hope that Paulie Konerko and Jim Thome, they were getting it done the right way on those mid-2000s White Sox. But who knows? All right, I'm going to head off here. Albert Pujols, thank you for compiling for the last 10 years and even making us, concerned about you in the all-time home run record chase. But guess what? It's not happening. You're not even going to pass Alex Rodriguez, who I would love to see a chart of like where their career home run totals were along their career. Obviously, Alex Rodriguez began his career much earlier, but if there was ever a pace where Pujols was actually supposed to hit more, because I think I've never seen a player fall off like this. I don't think any of us have. I've ever seen a player without being injured, without a clear like he tore his ACL or whatever. How Albert Pujols? How did you do this? And not that like California Angels fans are like the greatest fans in the world, but I'm sure there's awesome California Angels fans. Every time you think of no, there is awesome sports fans for every sports team. What are you going to do? You don't have a choice. You were born there. That's your team. So, and I'm convinced somewhere far away in Canada that there's just this hostile, just foaming at the mouth, just they can't wait to get NBA basketball back, Vancouver Grizzlies fans. I believe that. Maybe there's not a lot of them, but somewhere there's Vancouver Grizzlies fans. So there's definitely I can't come up with another name. The California Angel guys, the Toronto Angels. I forgot Dylan Ringler. Oh my gosh. I mentioned my former roommate the other day and I didn't give him a proper shout out. Dylan John Ringler. Hello. How are you? And I'm going to wrap it up. I don't even know what I was saying. Angels fans, I'm sorry. I think that's what I was saying. I'm just sorry. And if we're going to thank Ryan Braun, I can't imagine the thanks we're going to give Albert Pujols. And honestly, no, Albert, just no. You're borderline a thief, honestly. And so where I was saying I don't mind Dave. No, I think I hold something against between this potential steroid use and the compiling. I think I actually hold a bit of animus towards Albert Pujols for really no reason other than just you had a chance to be an awesome baseball player all time. People would talk about you forever the way they talk about the greats. And you might be mentioned amongst, but now you're just going to have this run where you were awesome in St. Louis and you were the exact opposite in LA and you were getting paid like a mega superstar the entire time. So it is what it is. He might be a Hall of Famer. I wouldn't. What are you impressed by? I mean, as impressive as his dominating years in St. Louis were, I can't remember if St. Louis won the last year with him or they won the next year right after. But St. Louis has had no problem being one of the better run organizations in terms of putting product on the field. They're top notch. And just don't know what Albert Pujols was thinking. He played himself. He has himself to blame for however people view his career because he took the money. He didn't get it done. He left a fabled baseball town to go play for the second team in Los Angeles. Just it's almost disgusting, actually. I really do. Albert Pujols and Albert Pujols gives great interviews where he says all the right things and he comes off like an awesome guy. But you ought to be disgusted in yourself. You really ought to just think back on what went wrong and maybe give some of that money back. Maybe help, or maybe buy an ownership stake in the Angels or something. Like, do something to give that money back. You can't honestly look yourself in the mirror and say, I'm worth $225 million based on what I did with the Angels. There's no way. And the fact that they backloaded the contract so that it was even worse, so that they ended up having to pay you more and more and more as you got worse and worse and worse. I mean, cut the crap and get a grip. Both the Angels and Albert Pujols. Oh my gosh. Yeah. This Albert Pujols let us all down as baseball fans, as fans of Americana. If you like apple pie, then you like baseball. And if you like baseball, you ought to like Albert Pujols because he's one of the greats. But who could, after watching him the last 10 years, absolutely fumble this thing? Like I said, I will let you guys go. You have a great rest of your day. Poor Angels fans.